it's raining good news for the Aam Aadmi, for the scientific community in India as well. In yet another Diwali gift for India, the Technical Advisory Group of WHO, which met today, has recommended the emergency use listing status for Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. The decision will ease international travel and the export of the indigenous vaccine. The World Health Organization's panel had last week sought additional clarification from the Hyderabad-based pharma firm, and after this news broke, let's take a look at the first reaction that came in from Dr. Ella.
It is a momentous occasion for Indian innovation, Indian entrepreneurship, Indian startup, and Indian science. As a scientist, I pray that India's innovation is starting and it's going to boom as we go along. We at Bharat Biotech are grateful to the Honorable Prime Minister and many respected people who took the Covaxin to instill the confidence in Indian science.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Well, we are now joined by Dr. Randeep Guleria, Director, AIIMS. Thank you very much for giving us your time, sir. Good evening to you. And what an amazing development for the people of the country who've taken Covaxin, because this definitely eases travel restrictions. But what an important step towards, validation for the indigenous vaccine.
Yes, I think this is a great day for Indian scientists. Before this, India was the hub for manufacturing vaccines, but we were not doing basic research, R&D, as far as vaccine was concerned. And now with this novel virus, we have manufactured our own vaccine, and we've got a WHO approval that it is effective and safe. I still remember the early days of January when many of us took this vaccine. There was a lot of news then that it is not safe, it's not been tried properly, and it's not an effective vaccine. But I think all of that has now been laid to rest, and we have enough evidence that this is an effective and a globally accepted vaccine.
Absolutely.
It also shows the strength of our scientists and the strength of public-private partnership. This was supported by the government and was done through ICMR and the National Institute of Virology, which had the virus, attenuated virus, which was given to Bharat Biotech, and then they did the manufacturing. So this really shows that we have the capacity to do research and innovate and have public-private partnership to really develop vaccines and take it to a new level. And I think now with so many other vaccines being manufactured in India, India will become the scientific hub for vaccine manufacturing and research, and we'll come out with many new vaccines in the near future. So great moment and a proud moment for Indian scientists, all Indians, and I think this is something that we should be proud of and really thank all our researchers and scientists for the great work that they've done.
Absolutely. This is a big day for the scientific community in India. Dr. Guleria, do you think this will change the world's outlook towards India, which so far has been looking at India as a manufacturing hub? Will that change now? And will India now be looked at also as a hub of development of vaccine?
Yes, I think this will be a game changer for two reasons. One is India will now be looked as having the capacity to do pure research and come out with vaccines and then be able to manufacture them in our own country. And secondly, it will also give confidence that we have the capacity to do high quality research. Clinical trials, remember this vaccine went to preclinical trials, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trials. And that is now what we are able to do as far as new vaccines are concerned. And this will really give a lot of confidence to the global community that not only research, but trials of high standard, which meet all the requirements at an international level, can be done. And manufacturing also, which is globally acceptable, is possible in our country. And this is, I think, something which is remarkable.
Right. Of course, one would now not have to wait for individual approvals to come in from countries, because the WHO has given a nod, and Covaxin will now be biotech will now be able to export Covaxin to other countries as well, in terms of introducing them in the markets and doing business. But do you think that will also change the perspective that was initially formed domestically here in India towards an indigenously developed vaccine?
Yes, I think so. There was a lot of, let's say, misinformation, if I may use the word, regarding the efficacy of the vaccine. People even called it a half-baked vaccine and a lot of other things. I think it has now laid to rest all of that, and this should really be a boost for people to come forward and be able to take the vaccine. And I would encourage more and more people now to come forward and take the vaccine if they are due for it, whether it is Covaxin or Covishield, because both have now got approval. And we are now in a position where we have enough vaccines to be able to vaccinate more and more people. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said today morning, we have to reach out to every Indian so that we have 100% coverage, and a door-to-door vaccination is something that we need to do on a war footing so that we are able to protect our citizens and not have any further waves.
Right. One last question before I let you go, Dr. Guleria. You spoke about the misinformation campaign. Do you think that this validation from WHO will also address the issue of hesitation?
I think so. So there has been a lot of hesitation for multiple reasons. One of them, of course, is the issues raised by a lot of people that the vaccine is not safe and we need more data. That is now laid to rest because it's been approved by the highest body and by going through a lot of scrutiny. And therefore, I think that is now not an issue. Secondly, of course, there are people who are still not coming forward for the vaccine, thinking that the pandemic is over, and if they've taken the first shot, they need not take the second shot. So I would like to really address this issue and tell everyone that you need to take both your shots of the vaccine. And if you're due for a second shot, please come forward and take it.
Right, Dr. Guleria. Finish your point, please.
Yeah, the third thing is that there are people who are still hesitant. And I'd like to say that this should be something that should encourage you to come forward and take the vaccine. We have now 1.3 crore people who have taken, more than 100 crore people have taken the vaccine. That's enough data to say that it's safe and effective.
Dr. Guleria, thank you very much for giving us your time. Thank you for joining us, and a very happy Diwali to you.
Very happy Diwali to the entire team.
All right, let's open this up and let's also go across to our other guests on the panel. We are joined by R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairman of Nephron, on the broadcast with us, and Professor Om Prakash Mishra, spokesperson of the TMC. Before I get into the political angle and who said what, I want to bring in Dr. Bagai first. Dr. Bagai, it indeed is a happy Diwali, isn't it?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. I think this has validated and proved not only the manufacturing or the production hub of India as far as the vaccine pioneer worldwide is concerned. It's now actually showing its innovation and techniques in terms of R&D. This Covaxin is a brilliant platform. Just let me give you just 30 seconds of the medical background, and then we'll discuss the other aspects. This is a whole virus vaccine, inactivated. It also targets the N-terminal domain, which the Delta actually involves. So that's why it's been extremely protective post the second wave. It's shown excellent results. The results are there for everyone to see. 77.8% overall vaccine efficacy. But on the ground, in terms of vaccine effectiveness, it has been completely marvelous. It has shown only 0.2% breakthrough infection rate. There has been no episodes of serious side effects such as pericarditis, myocarditis, or thromboembolic phenomena. And this has proven actually to be a shot in the arm, not only for India, but globally. So this is now going to help three different ways. One is, of course, it puts India on a different platform worldwide, which was much deserved purely on merit. Point number two, this is going to liberalize the international travel. This is going to make sure that India can also export this vaccine to a lot of other poorer nations who are less fortunate, who don't have the technology and know-how of that R&D and hub which India has as far as vaccine manufacturing is concerned. And third is, now this is going to remove all the vaccine hesitancy. This is going to convert the one vaccines into two vaccines to make them fully vaccinated. This last and very important point is, point number 4 is, this is actually now going to open doors for more R&D. And I dare say there will be a host of other vaccines, combination vaccines, vaccines for other illnesses. I think this has showcased India, validated India. And in the end, what I would like to say is, this vaccine has slain not only the COVID virus so far, although we can't put our guard down now and we have to continue to fight, but this has also slain all the naysayers and the vaccine hesitance promoters put to rest.
Okay, let me then, ask that question to Professor Mishra on the panel with us. Professor Mishra, illogical, unscientific comments were made as far as the Covaxin indigenous vaccine is concerned. Do you think the naysayers have been silenced now? And, your party was also one of those who questioned Covaxin.
I am very sorry to inform you that information you have is completely wrong.
Okay.
And since you are a very respected anchor, you should know that West Bengal has never ever questioned our scientific community, our vaccine, Covaxin has been administered here. And so therefore kindly do not confuse us with anyone else that you might have in mind.
Okay.
Secondly, of course, it's a very important that we now have been able to get the emergency use listing. And definitely we, compliment, congratulate our scientific community, medical professionals. And to the extent that the government of India and the state government, they have been working. So everybody deserves the credit. But then if this is an event, should not be attempted to be created and carved out in the context of the political, upmanship, because Tali and Thali approach to COVID management will not do, vaccine approach will do, and to the extent that the Prime Minister has become a convert to science and scientific region, we compliment and we congratulate him as well.
Okay. RP Singh, Professor Mishra is saying that they never questioned the scientific community, but yes, theatrics should be avoided.
I'll appreciate Professor Mishra should go through the analog of the Googles, and he'll come to know that the West Bengal government initially was reluctant to accept the Covaxin. I mean, that's on record. But that point aside, let me answer that Tali and Thali also, because I mean, he probably doesn't know. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai is on your panel. He will tell you that it was Tali and Thali which boosted the morale of the doctors and the nurses and the paramedical staff to stay on. Otherwise, how would they have? I mean, from the first round of the corona to second round of the corona. But all that set aside, this is a very happy occasion. Happy Diwali to all the self-reliant Indian and the new India today. I mean, it's a new India, and then happy Diwali to the new India today. But also, let me remind, it's not only the West Bengal government, it was others also within the Congress who was raising questions, whether it was Shashi Tharoor, whether it was Surjewala. They were also raising questions on the efficacy of the vaccine. Vaccine is not good. PM should administer the vaccine first, and he should take the lead, although PM took the Covaxin only. But they raised question on this also. And also that it was not only confined to this. I mean, Akhilesh Yadav went ahead and said that this is a BJP ki vaccine and Modi ki vaccine. Why shall we take this vaccine? And his colleague said that this vaccine will make you impotent. All these questions were raised from the opposition, not from the ruling party. And this led to a lot of hesitancy in round one itself. When people were hesitant in taking vaccination, it took a lot of effort by our ground workers, or by our paramedical staffs, by our ASHA workers, to push people, to get people on board for vaccination. But had they not raised this question, the vaccination process would have been much faster.
Okay.
And then we would have accomplished what we are trying to accomplish now.
It was the misinformation campaign that led to hesitancy. The Chief Minister of West Bengal, though, did argue that adequate scientific opinion should be obtained as far as the safety and efficacy of the vaccine is concerned.
No, which is actually correct. What is wrong about it?
I'm not saying anything is wrong about it. I'm saying RP Singh is saying all of this led to delay.
I'm very sorry. If you are, West Bengal actually has been in the forefront of fighting the COVID. And our record is excellent. Comparatively speaking, relatively speaking. You trying to, or anyone trying to confuse us with, RSS viewpoint against science, or the Prime Minister's earlier thinking about Tali and Thali. No, West Bengal believes in science and technology. We stand by a medical community.
Dr. Bagai does not
proud
agree with
Indians, and so therefore, do not make it an event management thing. If the Prime Minister needs to have credit, we give all credit to Prime Minister. But for all the delay, let him also take the discredit. But I did not want to travel that path.
So you're saying the opposition has nothing to do with the misinformation campaign.
You're
saying the misinformation campaign has nothing to do with hesitancy. Dr. Bagai does not agree with the points that you're making. I want to bring him in.
Yeah, three quick points. One is, of course, there is no state, Swati, which has to work in silo. I think it's a comprehensive collective game, and that's the only way we can fight COVID. So if all the states have worked hard, it's full compliments and it's full encouragement to them. But I want to put on record that any vaccine which is cleared by ICMR, please understand the ICMR and the Indian scientific community, the Vaccine Advisory Committee, I know these people personally, are perhaps one of the finest intellect minds which are available in this part of the world, not only India. Point number two is, with regards my previous panelists, with utmost respect, with regards the Thali and the Tali, I think it seems to have tickled him and irritated him no end. But let me tell you, this war which is against COVID is to be won in the mind first. This is a psychological war which we have won. We have broken, the Prime Minister in fact has broken the long marathon into smaller parts, so that India can run this hand-holding with him over a long distance. This is not a 1 month, 2 months journey. Worldwide, this approach has been used to keep the community engaged, to keep the society together. Just let me complete, please, sir. I did not interrupt you. So I think there is the entire game of COVID has to be won on different fronts, and I think India has done extremely well. If particular states have done well, it's full compliments to them. But let's give credit to the people who are directly involved in running this huge, largest, safest, tallest, biggest adult vaccination campaign in the world. That's Prime Minister Modi. Let's give credit to the person who's worked very hard for it.
Okay, all right. On that note, I want to wrap up the debate. That's all the time I have for debate number one. Thank you very much, R.P. Singh, Dr. Bagai and Professor Mishra for joining us in the broadcast.